All right. What? Phew, okay, there we are. Oh,
Good
man.
evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I was gonna say welcome back to another episode, but it's a collaboration tonight, and starting off amazing as always is our good buddy Mr. Doing a dual stream here.
I'm
It's probably like
excited.
the fifth or sixth dual stream we've had this past year, but I think wrapping up 2022 is a great way with us cross streaming here. What do we call? What is it called?
Cross stream. You never want to cross the stream.
Never cross streams.
Never cross the streams.
Oh God. Well, folks, whether you're coming in to watch Alex's side of things or Serious Angler side of things, what is going on? Thank you for joining us tonight. We're a great way to wrap up 2022 on the Serious Angler side of things. As always, I'm your host, Bailey Egbert, and joined with me is the captain, Mr. Andy Full, and we have the Lorax, Mr. Redbeard, the Bill Dance of YouTube with the Tennessee beanie out down here, Mr. Alex Rudd.
The real color orange. Just remember that, folks. Tomorrow we play Clemson, and we are the real color orange. That orange and purple that they have looks like something Dora the Explorer would wear, and I have nothing for it other than go Vols.
Shots. Dude, I was honestly on a Clemson train, like in terms of rooting for him when Deshaun Watson was the quarterback there.
Yeah.
But after this whole Deshaun Watson thing, I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah. I'm a big Dabo Swinney fan. I really, truly believe, and there's a lot of people who disagree with me about this, but I think when Nick Saban finally retires one of these days, that Dabo Swinney will be the first man up to go to Alabama and be their coach. Like, I really think that.
I believe it.
You don't think it'd be Lane Kiffin? He seems to bounce around worse than anybody.
Dude, I don't think that Alabama would have Lane Kiffin back any quicker than Tennessee would have Lane Kiffin back.
Fair enough. But you never know. It is SEC football, and those teams tend to grab whatever the hot commodity coach is at that time. So
that's true. But yeah, well, hey, listen, I'm glad to be back. And for everybody that's listening on my podcast, welcome back to another podcast. I'm here with the Serious Angler boys, and we're gonna I don't know. I mean, what are we going to do? I have no idea what the plan is tonight. You know me. I show up and just
improv.
I'm here to have fun.
Yeah.
It's one of our like quarterly at this point, not so serious episodes where obviously in the name Serious Angler, we focus on like the education side of bass fishing. So like very streamlined, but there's one night every once in a while we'd like to kick back and have some brews, talk about things that aren't like too fishing related, where we can have some fun with it. We're gonna have some more people joining us here tonight, but we have Deacon coming here in a little bit, and it's always fun to get together and kind of dual stream this deal because we get both of the crowds coming in and having some fun. Which, guys, we encourage everybody to throw out some topics for you folks to give us to talk about some juicy topics. I got a bunch of stuff written down here that's gonna be pretty fun. But if you guys see anything that you want us to answer or talk about, feel free to throw it out there. The chat's starting to blow up here a little bit. But boys, real fast before we start bringing some new folks in, how was your guys' Christmas? And I know we had somebody ask about an update on Buffalo. Buffalo's, for the most part, back on track.
Open. It takes 3 days for the North, no matter how bad a snowstorm is, to reopen. I'm sure if that happened in Tennessee, you guys would all be done for like 2 weeks. So
2 weeks, try 2 months.
Listen. After the TVA had to do rolling blackouts because it was cold, I'm really worried what would happen if it actually snowed. It like actually got cold here. I was like, it scared me. It scared me to the point that I told Bethany, I was like, listen. And my voice turned that way. I don't know why it turned that way. I was like, listen.
Where are the candles and the flashlights?
I was like, I'm not being caught with my pants down again. We're buying a generator. We're going to have food. I'm buying more guns. Why do I need more guns? I don't know, but I'll figure it out.
Like, I'm going to shoot the snow.
Blow up the smithereens.
Yeah, so, no, yeah.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Look, Alex Rudd outside in a Macho Man Randy Savage costume with a 12-gauge shooting at snow.
I'm the cream of the crop. Listen here. I'm the cream of the crop.
Yeah, dude. Like, I have an uncle and aunt that are in North Carolina, and they get like maybe an inch, and all schools closed down and everything. Whereas, like, it was 2000? I can't remember the year when there was basically like 7 foot of snow.
2017. It was 5 years. It was 5 years on the date that we got another 80 inches of snow this past November, like almost on the exact day.
Yeah, and kids were like walking to school within 2 days. Like They opened right back up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It'd be wild. But seriously, huge shout out to first responders. Basically, I'm pretty sure National Guard came in to assist people that were plowing, emergency services, everybody that assisted. It was we were talking about the difference in terms of states and what we pay. We're not going to get into that politics, but it was nice to see our taxes at work this past weekend in terms of reason why we have all the plowing and all everything we do up here. It was people working hard. And unfortunately, some people had to
They
pay
plow
the price.
you for your taxes so they can plow your roads.
That's right.
Yes.
Welcome to New York, where we plow you for your taxes so we can plow your roads.
That'd be a fantastic slogan. I'd actually get behind it if we had winter for more than 3 months a year.
And you'd get behind the plowing.
Get behind it. I'm not going to take the plowing, all right? I'll get behind the plowing.
Yeah, right.
He's there just to view the plowing, maybe participating a little bit of plowing, but
plow for a plow. That's Rob Harrison.
God.
A plow for
That's
a plow.
awesome.
No, but like to put it in perspective, how bad this snowstorm was, I think right now, in the township of Buffalo, in the city of Buffalo, 40 people have passed away. It was basically a Category 1 hurricane for 36 hours with 3 to 6 inches of snow per hour. It got so bad on Friday night that they shut off all emergency services in Erie and Niagara County. So people that were like having heart attacks in their houses, giving birth, nobody could get to them because the snow was so bad. At one point, I believe I saw an article where 95% of all emergency services were like stuck on the road trying to get to emergency calls. And that's when they shut it down. Yeah, it was bad. They're still digging cars out of banks. Like you can drive like a random road and you'll see a car in a snowbank.
What's crazy to me is what I always think about in situations like this is like, how did people even live like 100 years ago when that happened? Like, how did they even survive? Like 200 years ago, like how did they even survive? Like, how are we even here? Because it's like, I don't know.
We're wimps, man. We're wimps.
We really are. Like we're just walking like meat bags of the sissiness. But I just think about I read like Daniel Boone and accounts of things that he did, and I'm just like, how do we as humans even survive? And this dude, or like, how did he as a human even survive? And we're over here complaining because it's like cold. Like it's just those things like always. I can't wrap my mind around that. You know what I mean?
There was thick skin. Thick skin was in existence back then.
It's a girl fasting growth with family Christmas. Yes.
That's right. That's right. Speaking of that, how was your Christmas there, buddy?
Oh man, it was good. It was good. We I literally chilled. It was nice. We did Christmas with my family on the Friday before Saturday, Christmas Eve. I did absolutely nothing. Like I literally laid on the couch and watched TV, and Bethany baked cookies, and we went and got Chinese food. It was great. And then Christmas Day we went and seen all the family and ate too much food, and it's been very relaxing. It's the first time ever since I've had a YouTube channel that I've actually been able to not have to worry about editing and doing like YouTube stuff on a time that I have off. Like cause used to like when I was a teacher, like when I had off, it was like full blown like YouTube as much as I could get done. And it's like this time around, it's like I can actually just like sit around and chill because I don't have any expectations to be anywhere. You know, like I don't have a break that's going to end. And so it's been really nice. It's been relaxing.
Yeah, I'll second that, dude. I think because so what happened was I was in Florida. My whole family is in Florida now. My brother and I are the only ones left here in New York. So we flew down to see parents, grandparents, all that jazz. And we were supposed to fly back, my fiance and I, on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously the storm, the airport was closed down till Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And we had Tuesday. And of course, we bring down the cold with us to Florida. Like it was 29 degrees in the morning in Florida, high of 51. Like it was total BS.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the days, literally just never looked at my phone, didn't look at the laptop.
Yep.
Didn't for the first time probably since college, I stayed inside on the couch and watched movies and played games and had beers with the family, that type of deal. It was super relaxing. Didn't even like want to think about work. It was awesome. So I'll second that.
Yeah.
Andy, what about you, dude?
So blizzard story, like Friday morning, we planned to go to my in-laws, and Friday morning, me and the wife went out to breakfast. We had to finish up some Christmas shopping, and we're sitting there eating. It's raining, and all of a sudden, like somebody walks in the door, and they're like, "Travel ban, 9:30, all of Western New York." And me and my wife basically looked at each other, ran home, packed the car and drove to Rochester in a blizzard, which was wild. Like the whole ride there was basically whiteout conditions. Then we got to almost Rochester, and it was snowing so hard that I actually had to slow down to like 4 or 5 miles an hour at a time going down a road, because I'm like, I can't see anything past like halfway down my hood, and then it would clear up when we got to our parents' house and it was almost sunny. I'm like, what the heck? And then we hung out in Rochester. I didn't see any of my family. We're having Christmas actually at my house tomorrow night with my side of the family, and we're basically trapped in Rochester waiting for a travel ban to lift so we can get back to our house. And then I spent basically the entire day on Monday shoveling out my driveway because there was 4 to 6 foot of snow drifts in my driveway.
I couldn't even imagine 6 foot of snow. That's as tall as me.
Yeah.
That's me snow. That's as much as me.
And by the time we got home, it actually compacted. So it wasn't even like that light, fluffy stuff. It was like 4 feet of like heavy, wet snow. And then underneath it, there was 2 inches of ice because it rained right before the snow hit. Just like you guys had in Tennessee, where you had that big rain and then the snow came like immediately after. Yeah. Same thing here, but we got 80-mile-an-hour winds and 40
Dude, what was crazy,
80 inches of snow.
What was crazy about the weather down here was I saw this thing that it dropped 50 degrees in 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And like, dude, it was insane to just like go outside like every 5 minutes. And it was like, oh, it is drastically colder outside. Yeah. And then like, what's crazy is like all the creeks and like all the backs of all the pockets and like ponds and everything are frozen here. And like, you don't ever see that. Like literally the creek, like right down from my house, is frozen solid on top and the water is flowing underneath it. And I'm like, that's not Tennessee. Like, I don't even know how to process. Like it is, I don't know. The weather has been crazy. And like, what's even crazier is that Monday it's supposed to be 70 here.
Yeah. It's going to be 60 here on Tuesday. Like all the snow that fell over this past weekend is virtually gone.
Yeah.
Already, because it's like today got to 54 in Buffalo. So it's wild. And it was 1 degree on Saturday as a high.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It just turns into a massive flood after that. I mean, because I'll have to send you a picture after this, but like there's a picture from a thruway in Buffalo where it's literally like a 30-foot tall snowbank. Like it's insanely high. And all that is now like basically half gone. And it's just going to flood everything.
The crazy backstory. I think I sent that picture to you, right, Bailey?
Yeah, it was from some Twitter post.
It's from the 33 Expressway. And right before that, you can't see it in the background, but there's like a 45-foot decline that goes underneath the bridge. And basically what happened was the wind was blowing straight out of the west, and it pushed all the snow that was on top of it down and back up. And they had to clear out literally like a 20-foot high snowdrift on the 33. Yeah, so the mound is like, you see like a guy is like this big, and the snow mound's like this big over top of it. It's so funny.
So does Lake Erie freeze?
Yes.
So like, okay, so this may be a dumb question, and it probably is kind of dumb. So if the lake freezes to the point, is the lake effect snow as bad?
It stops.
It stops. So like it freezes to a point where like the lake effect snow just doesn't happen because there's not enough lake to pull moisture out of for there to be lake effect snow.
Yeah, you need about 90% of the lake to freeze for lake effect to stop. And then you'll see it too, like you'll have a general snow, like just a typical low pressure system come by, and it'll still suck moisture afterwards because you get the west prevailing winds out of it. And you'll see the stream on the radar will be like 2 miles wide, but it'll be the most intense snow you ever see for like 5 miles off the lake, 2 miles wide, and they'll get like 40 inches of snow. And then as the lake closes, those bands get smaller, and then it just goes to general snowfall from like February 1st to March, and then March comes and everything starts melting.
You know, to go back to what I said earlier, there was some poor Indian who was standing on the shores of Lake Erie that like looked out there and was like, it's going to snow. And then it snowed like 15 feet. And he was like, yep, it snowed.
Yeah. And it's crazy though. Like every Great Lake produces lake effect snow, but for the way Lake Erie is set up with the wind direction and where Buffalo sets based on the normal wind direction that we have here, we just get basically crapped on.
You know, we could totally be meteorologists. Like we know
I swear to God,
Fishermen are the best meteorologists there are.
Andy is my personal meteorologist. I don't even trust weather apps anymore because everything Andy has said has been more accurate than what the apps tell me. This exact storm, for example, Andy was like, dude, you're probably not going to get home on Monday. And this was like Friday morning before I even flew out. He's like, you're not going to get home. And I'm like, dude, it's Buffalo. Like, be fine. Like, we have plows. We'll figure it out. It's fine.
I was like,
he nailed it. Like, I get like, it was like Sunday morning and it's like Buffalo Airport can't close until further notice. Like, there was no sign of it. Open it back up. And we're like, holy shit.
That's right. Okay. So tell me I'm not the only one here, but if we all spent out like time outside enough, like that you walk outside and you're like, yep, it's going to rain, or yep, it's about to get like me and my dad were out there like 3 days before it got -3 here. And we were like, both looked at each other and we're like, it's about to get really cold outside. You just like feel it. You know what I mean? Like
you can see it in the clouds too. Dude. Like the clouds just slightly change, like the nature of them. And you're like, oh, shit's getting real. Yes. Like, this ain't good.
Dude, Andy, two things. My tournament partner, Turner, is a weather freak, and I keep telling him that you just need to call each other and just talk about weather, because it's the same deal. Man. Like, I literally will reach out if I'm going somewhere and he's not there. Like, I'm getting a weather forecast from him rather than any app, and he looks at all this data and all this crazy stuff, and it blows me away. But like, he knew everything about that storm after you and I talked about. I'm like, wow, this is wild how bad it is. Like, he's like, oh yeah, man. Like, I saw that coming from a mile away. And I'm like, wow. It's like,
I think I sent Bailey a screenshot of like a weather map that was forecasting it. It said Buffalo was supposed to get 96 inches of snow. And as soon as you get one weather, like, I forgot the proper terminology of, but as soon as you get one of those forecasts, like the Euro model and stuff that says something like that, it's going to fall somewhere about half. And I'm like, oh God, 96 inches. We're going to get 50. And literally the Buffalo Airport got 55.5 inches of snow with 85 mile an hour sustained winds. Yeah.
Dude, I will say I had, and you guys had it, I had the craziest weather experience I have ever had outdoors here, goose hunting, when that storm hit us, or the front, or the air hit us.
Yeah.
We were literally like, okay, hey, this is going to be a good day. Pressure's dropping, we're going to spank the birds. And we did, right before that front hit. And then Erie, man, everything stops, right? Nothing is happening. And you literally look in the distance and there was just a fog, this brown fog coming from the northeast. And you see it. And we're like, this was probably for 15 minutes. We saw it. And then out of nowhere, it hit us and was wind, and the temperature had the fastest drop ever. It in Colorado, stuff. It dropped from 44 to -2 in 10 minutes. I mean, instantly.
That's exactly what happened here on Friday.
It went from you're hey, I was getting a little bit hot. It was starting to get sunny in the blind to we got to go now. We were not dressed for it. Had to go pick up decoy, and it was blowing 40. It was insane. And then I've never experienced anything like it. And there's all kinds of these videos of you can see the fog rolling, and it's just this cold air that was absurd.
So you want to know what's crazy? As I was telling Bailey about this, there is a mammoth that they found that was flash frozen. It was froze so fast that the food that it was chewing in its mouth, which was green plants, froze.
Was still alive, right? Yeah,
it was still in its mouth, and he was in mid chew. That's how fast it froze it. So it
what?
Yes,
the day after tomorrow, baby.
It's the day after tomorrow. So I told Bailey, I was like, and there's this other guy that I've been keeping up with that he's got this theory that we're going into another mini ice age. So back in the 1800s,
we are way due.
So
interesting. Okay.
So in the 1800s, we actually had a mini ice age. It was a period of, it was literally right smack in the middle of the Civil War. We had a period of 10 to 20 years right there where we had just extremely cold temperatures. And, it would snow in North Florida and all these different things, crazy stuff like that. Well, this guy says we're due for another one. But I couldn't imagine a weather system that could flash freeze a mammoth. Like, think about the weather in that moment that it goes from I'm literally a mammoth
Eating.
eating green plants to I am a solid chunk of ice and dead.
Yeah,
Like,
that had to have been like 100-degree difference, right? Like from like 35, 40-degree Fahrenheit to like -80 in an
yes,
instant.
instant. Like, just
Because
That
at
is
-30, you can get frostbite in like 2 minutes of exposed skin.
I'd be content with that as long as if it froze me when I'm like setting the hook and doing something cool. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you went.
someone finds Bailey in a freaking plastic tub.
He's in the Hobie in Lake Erie, just frozen.
So it's just
floating
like an icicle, like a big iceberg, which is like a Hobie and a dude just floating down.
and the worst part would be is he thinks he looks really cool when he sets the hook, but really his face
He's like,
is
frozen.
he's like, he's like, oh.
Yeah. Well, also for folks, the new voice in the chat, we have the whole Serious Angler crew in here with Deacon joining us. We were going around the room quick, just asking how people's Christmases were. So how was yours, Deke?
Good, man. Good. Saw the fam, saw the girlfriend's fam. Can't complain, man. It was a good time to see everybody, my brother and sister, all of us hanging out under the same roof. Doesn't happen all that much anymore. So it was good to see everybody.
Yeah, I see the beard's growing in fine.
Oh, I don't know about that.
He's looking a little patchy, man.
I was
I'm
gonna
gonna
say.
say he's got a patch beard like you know, like Rudd can grow a mean beard here.
Yeah,
Like,
don't even
like
look
you got like a Peter Griffin with like some bird nests in there
All
going
right,
on.
I don't know if it's
Mine's pretty decent, and then
It's
we got
nice.
Patchy 1 over here, wherever he is, and then Patchy 2 down below.
Oh,
No, that's Patchy, and this is don't be around schools. This is what I got.
Can't be within 100 feet of a school zone.
No kid.
I need darker hair. I got like brown facial hair.
They make Rogaine that you can dye
not-
it like dark brown.
No,
No.
not gonna do that.
I'm not going to do that.
But we have one of our, not to derail our weather.
We have another
podcast.
beard guy.
We do have another beard guy sitting in the queue, but really fast before we bring on one of our special guests for tonight, Rudd. Congrats on 50K subs. There,
Yeah.
buddy.
Hey, appreciate it, man.
We need like a
Awesome.
horn or a golf clap.
I know I need to set up my soundboard.
Yeah, I got a soundboard, but I don't have a horn button.
Yeah, I need to set my soundboard up to have probably a bunch of inappropriate sounds. But yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. It's been a
Wait,
long time.
what?
And so what? Yeah, it's been a long time coming, and I appreciate it. I think it's a way bigger milestone than I ever thought it would be. But like I told you, on to 100 now. Like I not going to slow down, and this is just
Heck yeah,
one
dude.
more thing to do, and we're just going to keep on climbing the mountain.
Full time, baby.
That's right.
How long you been doing YouTube now?
Probably 7 years, something like that. Like really seriously, like 5 years, but like I've had a YouTube channel for 6 or 7 years.
Now, has that growth, Rudd, been like very exponential? Like, or was what was kind of the build to 50?
Nah, man, it's been I've scratched and clawed for every subscriber that I've got. Like I've never had a viral video. I've never had like literally the most views I've ever had on a video was 750,000. And it didn't blow up until like 3 years after I put the video out. But
Wow.
yeah, man, it's always just been steady. And I think a lot of that has to do with I've never compromised like what I want to do. You know what I mean? Like I never chased any kind of trend or anything like that. I just made the video that I thought I needed to make and what I would enjoy watching, and just been growing. But it's been really awesome being full time because I've been able to focus on like my job now is just to get as many views as possible. And so it's like I can sit and I can look at titles and thumbnails and descriptions and like really kind of dial in what works for me. And over the past literally like 3 or 4 weeks, me and Bailey are in a little group chat with Ben, and we talk about YouTube stuff all the time. And I've figured out a little something, and it's been working really well. And so it's just cool to know that I've had the time to figure that out. I've executed on the plan. It's working, and now it's just time to like put the gas pedal down on it and see how hard I can, go with it.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, so we're going to bring our special guest on here. 2022 has been an awesome year for us in terms of, I think the coolest thing that I know we can all agree in this little four square here is the podcast or YouTube or fishing in general. You get to meet a lot of cool people. And if we had to bring on everybody that has been of impact to us, that we've enjoyed encountering and meeting this year, I don't think we'd have room on this stream. But we got on a few folks tonight that are awesome and mean a lot to us. So first things first, he calls himself the Jabberhammer, but Mr. Paul from Bass and Brews podcast. What's up, buddy?
Sir?
Yo,
Oh, my ears.
We had to add a little more rated R to the screen.
You're going to get that Paddler's Playbook disclaimer throughout the podcast, huh?
No disclaimers here. People know what it means when we say not so serious. We almost got canceled last time. Let's try not to do it again.
Well,
Oh,
I wasn't there for that. I was long gone at that point.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's why we have you now. Here's our security. You can
Yeah,
be
I
on the
know.
board.
At the 3-hour mark of the last one, things got rowdy fast. So
Yeah, we're gonna not call attention to that one.
yeah, don't go and watch it.
That
No,
was
dude.
buried in the
Go, go.
archives.
go watch.
Buried.
Dude, how was your Christmas?
It was good. It was short, but it was fun. Got to see family and got to eat. I ate way too much, but it's Christmas. It was a build up to get here, and then that shit's gone in the blink of an eye. And now it's back to regular old shit.
I love that regular old shit.
Hmm
Yeah, 361 more days to spoil the brats.
Well, we have run out of them being good with Christmas and the elf on the whatever that elf on the shelf shit is. I mean, here we are. Now we gotta pull out. Now we gotta start taking shit again.
That's right. Well, we talked to Rudd. Obviously, he hit 50K in 2022. But for folks like yourself and Bass and Brews podcast, how was your 2022?
It was great. We had record growth in listeners and all that stuff. If you go back and look at our ticket tax, Alex put some stuff out, I guess, a few weeks ago. It was awesome. We got to have some wonderful guests on. We went the whole year without missing a week, an episode a week out. So we had a lot of fun. Alex missed about a quarter of it, maybe a little bit more, and now he's back. now shit won't be as rambunctious. Well, maybe not rambunctious, but it won't be as we probably won't have no 3-hour episodes since he's back.
You're not gonna miss being on for 4 hours for every episode.
Who, me? Shit, y'all! If you put a damn microphone in front of my face, I'll talk to everybody, and the mama has left and gone, and I still
He'll talk to himself. He'll just sit there and just go and just by himself.
Look, you don't have. Look, I will talk the ears off a billy goat. I mean, there ain't no way around it. I'll stay. Sometimes, I have to shut that shit down, but no, I'm all about it. Alex is the one. Y'all can see him too. You start getting fidgety and shit when it's time to turn the down. He go, oh, but no, it's in the end, it was good. It was great. Met some great people, new folks, and it's awesome when you get to sit down. The podcast has allowed us to talk to people that we followed and looked up to and learn from, and we've been able to talk to those folks. I mean, that's pretty damn awesome.
Heck yeah. Well, folks, if you guys have not checked out the Bass and Brews podcast with a mix of bass and education with also a lot of bullshit, fun bullshit, I highly encourage you to check that one out. But
yeah, it is.
Carry on. Go ahead.
Not safe for work. Just make sure if you got it on the speakerphone or the car, mind the folks around you.
I'll give you no safe for work. All right. So I like listening to I listen to many a podcast, and sometimes I listen to things like Joe Rogan where I learn something. Sometimes I listen to stuff like Serious Anglers about bass fishing. Other times I listen to the Meat Eater Crew, and then sometimes I listen to stuff like Your Mom's House and Two Bears One Cave. And Your Mom's House is Tom Segura and his wife Christina P.
Very bad.
Okay. Your boy pulls up at the gas station the other day, and he's just getting gas in his boat. And so I leave my truck running, hop out with my door open as I'm listening to Your Mom's House. And Christina P says, Christina P says, do you want to stick a baseball bat up my ass like one of those porn stars? Loud. The entirety of the gas station. Boys, let me tell you something. I drew some attention quickly. All right, like there was a lady in the stall right across from me as I'm putting gas in my boat, and I feel her eyes come around the gas pump light.
She said, "What?"
Like, I'm just putting gas in there. I'm fumbling with my Apple Watch trying to pause spot. Like let her rip.
Volume up. Volume up. No.
Pause. Yeah, so
man.
be careful if you're listening to a professional comedian's podcast that you don't leave them playing with your door open at the gas station, because first it was Hitler's teacup with two bears and one cave and talking about how much Bert Kreischer loves Hitler at the Sonic, and now it was baseball bats up my ass at Waggles at the gas station. So just putting that out there.
Hey, you just need to wear your AFCO shirt and put on the baseball bat up the ass episode and go through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru next.
Yeah. Y'all can know that story. So there was a lady at the Chick-fil-A drive-thru had an AFCO hat on, and I come pulling up, and she goes, "This is no joke." She goes, "Is this some kind of Satan stuff?" And I'm like, what? I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "That hat you got on, is that some kind of Satan stuff?" And I'm like, "No, it's a fishing brand." And I was like, and they're a Christian-based fishing brand at that. She goes, "Oh, I thought it was just some kind of Satan stuff." And she like always works at the Chick-fil-A. And now every time I see her, like I walk in and like immediately she's just like looking at me, and I'm just like, "Well, not Satan stuff. Have a great day."
You should just make one hat that just says literally verbatim, just says Satan stuff.
Just put like an upside down cross on it. Just
just walk in and hand it to her. "This is some Satan stuff, and it was my pleasure. Have a nice day." And just walk right out.
I got a gift for you. Just put it in a box.
Yes,
Put it in a box wrapped up and hand it to her.
Very belated Christmas. Some Satan stuff.
Some Satan stuff.
Or you could ask her what her birthday is and give it to her on her birthday.
Yes, I could probably do that. So,
Rudd, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Because I don't know if for folks who may not know, I think a lot of your viewers know that you were a middle school teacher.
I was an elementary school teacher.
Elementary. Okay, this is even better.
Even better.
Was there? Did you ever say anything really stupid or really bad in front of your kids?
No. I actually control myself really, really well. I have a switch that I can switch on and off. Like when I get around kids, if y'all are ever around me and like I'm around like younger children, like I can hit the switch and like go into like Mr. Rudd teacher mode. But I have had kids say some funny crap to me. The one that stands out, and I'll never forget this. Kids stand at the back of the classroom. These are second graders, mind you, second grade. So they're like, 7, 8 years old. Little kid named Dalton. Yeah, super naive. This little kid named Dalton, and he talked like this because he had 2 buck teeth, and he's just real country, and so he talked like this, and his whistle because his teeth, his teeth would whistle. He's standing back there, and this kid's like doing something. He goes, "Damn it, leave me alone!" And I was like, "Dalton, get up here!" And he comes, "What, Mr. Rudd?" I said, "Dude, you cannot say that word." And he goes, "What word, Mr. Rudd?" I said, "You said, damn it." I said, "You said the D word." He goes, "The D word, Mr. Rudd, I didn't say dick." And I was like, "No, you didn't. And you can't say that one either." But yeah, that was Dalton. That was old Dalton. He said, "You can't." He said, "What'd you say?" I said, "You said the D word." And I didn't say damn it. Because the first time I said the D word, he looked at me like, "So, Mr. Rudd, I didn't say dick." And I was like, "Yeah, you said damn it." And I was like, "You can't say that word either." I was like, "Quit saying cuss words." And dude, that kid, he was the man, because I figured out he really liked Bigfoot. And after I figured out he really liked Bigfoot, like I got him some Bigfoot books so he could like, and it was like hilarious because they were like leveled readers about Bigfoot. But this kid loved Bigfoot, and so I give him these books, and he would read. He would be like, "Mr. Rudd, did you know that the Bigfoot Museum is in Washington State? Can we take a field trip to Washington State?" I'm like, "Bro, Washington State's like, I don't know, 30 hours away." He goes, "Well, that's not that far." He was awesome. I love being a teacher for that exact reason right there. The kids were just amazing.
That's amazing. That's good.
So,
go ahead.
I was going to say that resonates with me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Did you see Drunkwood's comment?
Yeah. Why didn't you put that one up on the board, Bailey?
Oh God!
Kills me. Oh my God!
I'll let everybody that's watching get to read that one.
I mean, you're a certain kind of plumber if you're doing that, but anyway.
Just bending the pipes.
Hey, you were
goodness.
delivering the wood that she ordered.
Yeah. Orders up.
It is my pleasure. Eating stuff.
Yeah, that's Chick-fil-A for you.
Oh,
Oh, that's good. Well, we have one more guest coming on. He's not in the queue yet, but he's going to join us a little bit later. So we'll get started, and he can jump in. But I have a few topics we kind of just spark some conversation and some fun. So we'll start going around the room here, and we'll start with Deacon because I think he's most in tap with this. I'm very curious his opinion. But one of my things for 2022, I'm curious your guys' take on is the biggest thing, like biggest / best thing that happened to fishing in 2022.
The best thing?
The best thing to happen to fishing, like whether it was a product, it was a movement, like what would be your take?
You can't oh man, that's a tough one. I wish I would have had some pre-prompt here. Best thing in
Flash
2022,
questions.
man.
he's a little foreplay before you give him such a hard question. All right,
Man,
fondle him a little bit.
Pop-up quiz.
got to court me somehow, Bailey. That's ridiculous.
All right, we can rephrase it then. A good thing to happen in fishing in 2022.
Man, I think a good thing that happened in fishing. I'm very much in tournament fishing, right? Like I really like following tournaments and that kind of a thing. And I think all the tournament drama and movement that's going on right now, yes, it kind of gets a little old, and there's always leagues changing over and different formats and this and that's happening. But I think that breeds more competition. I feel like it is more volatile right now on where pros are going to fish and that kind of a thing. And it brings attention to it in my eyes. So that's something I'm viewing it as a positive. Like I like kind of seeing all this crap.
Heck yeah.
Glass kind of half full kind of guy. I like that.
Red, what about you?
That's a great question. The best thing to happen in bass fishing. So this is going to be a little generic on my part, but it's just the truth, is the growth of social media even more, because they're finally starting to get it. Like these companies are finally starting to get it. Yeah, we're still 10 years behind, but like they're starting to understand that the future is based in what is happening right now. Like, people, it's been amazing to me to see the growth, not only in fishing, but all across the board, of people who have been able to leave their 9-to-5 jobs and be able to create, like we said earlier, Andy, we were talking about with any sort of effort in 2022 going into 2023, you can be an entrepreneur. And it's been awesome to see that within the fishing space, people able to accomplish their dreams and go after their dreams and break away from this like system of just like, you have to go to college, you have to go to work, you have to do this thing to be able to go and follow their dreams. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think that that's coming in a lot of different forms, whether that be the tournament side of things or the social media side of things or whatever it is. But I think at the end of the day, this thing, podcast, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, it is the reason that people are able to go and do, and it's making the fishing industry better. And I think that it is what's going to take it into the future. You know what I mean? And so I have this idea that I've been kicking around that I've expressed to not only people that I know, but people who, sponsor me and people who make big decisions in the industry. And I've said, if you'll double down on social media, content creators, mom and pop tackle shops, and big box stores, those are the 4 things. If you focus on them going into 2023, you'll see immense growth in the fishing industry. And it starts with the first 2 first, because those are the first 2 things that everybody in the world is looking at. I mean, the NFL is about to make a deal with YouTube so that YouTube can have access to all all the NFL games, where you can just click on whatever NFL game you want. Dude, if that happens, the game officially changed.
$7 billion transaction.
Yep. And it's changed. I mean, the game has changed. And like I tell people all the time, the FBI is looking at Twitter as an influence into political elections. If they can look at that into the influence of political elections, literally global economics, then I think that dudes on social media talking about fishing probably are making a little bit of a difference as well. So that's kind of my philosophy on it.
I like that. I mean, because it's a double-edged sword, because we use social media as a tool, but also at the same point in time, like we're also proponents of getting off social media and going outside. But the unfortunate part is like the younger generations, they're all growing up in this social media era, all having iPhones by the age of 6, it seems. It's like if there's one way to reach them and getting into something, I don't think tournament fishing is the way to get that younger generation into fishing right now. It's social media.
And it's crazy. I mean, it's just, I don't know, the power of it is insane. And I think the power of it is so underestimated. And I saw somebody in the comments, that said social media is awesome, but it also has its bad eggs. Everything has bad eggs. It's a tool just like anything else. And I think if you are resoundingly positive with the tool, be a Gary V, be a a person that is, be a Casey Neistat, use that tool for good. And I think that the more we use it for good and the more we leverage this thing that we have in the fishing industry for good, just the better the fishing industry is going to be. And like Adam said, I love too that there's such a almost turmoil within professional bass fishing. And it's because it does draw interest. It gives something for people to attach themselves to. And like, I don't know. I mean, everything has its positives and everything has its negatives. You know what I mean? It's what is it? There are no solutions, only compromises. So there you go.
Sean Lay says kids will never know the fun of collect calls with your 6-second messages. Kids will. Okay, I was young enough.
Bailey, do you remember like quarter like phones where you had to dial?
Yeah.
BS.
Dude, I still remember when I was like in primary school, some of my fun at home, my brother and I used to race to the phone when I was a telemarketer because they were actually people back then and you could screw with them. That was the most fun we had back in my house when I was little.
That's what sucks about telemarketers today. Is like I'll answer the phone and it's an automated system. I'm like, give me somebody real so I can jack them, please.
Right.
Start hitting zero. Just start hitting zero.
Normally, I answer the phone and I'm like, Taco Bell and Magnolia, and they're like, huh? I'm like, Taco Bell and Magnolia will Gordita your crunch, and they're like, they're like, what is this? And now I can't do that anymore because now you answered and it's like, hi, this is Steve. And I'm calling with your mom. And it's like, what is this? Like, why are you calling me, Steve? You're not even real, Steve. Like, hey, hold on. Can we go on since this is partially, it's not even my podcast. You guys are just on the live stream on my channel. But can we go down a rabbit hole real quick?
Yes.
I love artificial intelligence.
Oh, God.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Bro, listen. All right.
Taking over the world little by little.
This is creepy. So me and Ben, we watch a lot of the same stuff. Bailey, we shared it with you. We were watching Think Media the other day, and the Think Media guys put out a YouTube video about things to look for in 2023 in YouTube video creation. One of the things that they put out there was this website. And I'll have to get you guys the website. I'm not really sure. It's like some like this word and some letters. So I go to this website and literally type in, write me a script about
CGT.
What is it?
CGT, I think it's something
like that.
Deacon shared that with us, I think, last night. Yeah.
It's got the most users out of anything.
So I type in, write me a script about, or write me a YouTube video script for a crankbait video. Y'all, it spits out the most beautifully written, like with all the little factoids and all the little things you need. Like it literally pulled from the internet.
Yeah.
Like this thing literally knew more about fishing than I did. And it was like at that moment that I literally like heard like dun 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 and like here comes Terminator. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like I told Ben, I was like, okay, so if that is available to the public, then what do we have that isn't available to the public? Like, what does the U.S. government or what does Google or what does you like? What do they have that? Like, do they really have an artificial intelligence that can think on its own? Because this thing literally is having conversation with me. Like I typed in hi and it was like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, I'm good. How are you? And it's like, well, I'm a computer, but I'm still good. And it's like, what? Like
Apple created it with Siri 15 years ago.
No, this is not Siri because I can say, hey, Siri, call mom. And it's like, okay, I'll call Paul Blart Mall Cop. And I'm like, that's
fair. That is fair.
Yeah, that's so true.
Siri isn't the smartest wit on the block, but I mean, really, if you think about it, that's where it all started, like 15 years ago with Steve Jobs, right? Like that is true, like the first form of AI in the public hands.
Yes, and it's weird. Like it really is creepy. Like I don't know, the creepiness to me is just how accurate it is. I mean, It is if though I tasked one of you guys and paid you to write me a script or write me a something. You know what I mean?
You ain't getting
Like,
that good of a script for me, buddy.
but it's like it's got that human finesse to it. And it's like there's a few like obscurities here and there, like if you get really, really specific with it. But like if you're pretty general, like it has that human finesse that it's almost as if somebody's doing it. And like, I don't know, weird.
Yeah, I wish I could
There is
record some of the shit that Siri dictates for me when I talk into it, and I hit send before I read it, and then people are like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, because Siri don't recognize redneck and knees. It just does.
I was gonna say.
I wonder what the issue is with me then. I'm up north, and English is pretty decent up here, right? And like I'll text Bailey and Deacon as I'm driving down the road, and it'll be like, this makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
No, we have to. Deacon and I are learning a new language.
We've learned, like I understand what Andrew is saying now, and it's horrible that I understand what he is saying because Bailey and I will be like in the middle of a nice conversation, and then it'll just be like, blah, 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 and you're like, what is going on?
We're just like, dude, like we'll
So
just be
true.
talking about like strategy on like certain shows.
And
And
I'm
then
like,
it's
I'm
just
sorry,
like,
I'm driving and talking in my phone at the same time.
yeah, and it's just like boat ramps, Wendy's, clowns. Like it's just random words. Like it doesn't make any sense.
It's like at the beginning it makes sense. It's like, hey, meet me at the boat ramp clown penis in your dreams. What? Whoa, what?
What kind of dreams do you guys have?
What are you dreaming of? Do you need help, Andy? Like, no. Meet me at the boat ramp Wendy's clown penis. Dang it! Did it again.
Is this some sort of code word? Is Andy in trouble? Do we need to send somebody?
Like, Andy, share your location with me.
Oh, he is at Wendy's.
Dude, it's so funny. Like we know exactly when Andy's texting with his watch because it's just you can't.
It's mumble jumbo, and I like go back and read it. I'm like, what the hell that? No, a lot of times I leave my watch at home. It's like talking into my truck. Like it reads me all the
Ford
texts to
needs
me.
to get a better pick
Listening system.
Because I have
Better
the
mic,
Apple
yeah.
system right in my Ford, and I talk into it, and like it reads it back to me like 8 times. I'm like, I guess that's close. Like, fine. I'll
The fact that you send that stuff, you give it the okay after you send it.
repeating myself.
They'll get the clown gift card. They'll get it. Yeah.
Oh, there's times he sends a message and I'm like, give me 5 minutes and I'll understand what you're saying. I'm gonna read it over 10 times.
Let me decipher this Morse code via text
The
message.
amount of just times when I just pick up my phone and there's like 19 text messages, and then I like start going through it and I start laughing. I just don't know. I can't deal with this right now.
What y'all got to do is somebody needs to come up with an AI program that
just for me.
comes out with that.
Yeah.
So just start putting in the word that it was supposed to be with what he said or what Siri said he said, and then it puts out the right shit. There
That's
we go.
called autocorrect.
You know what the issue is? Like, I
That's
always want to read and be like in the moment, right? And like when Bailey and Deacon start going, there'll be like 87 text messages that I miss. And I'm like, damn it, I missed so much. I got to respond. Otherwise, it looks like I don't care. And then I'll talk into my
Wendy's, boat ramps, clowns.
It doesn't matter what I say. That's like on an essay, and he's like, "Yo, I gotta hit 10,000 words."
The clown has no penis.
Oh, that's so true. He's just hitting enter just every suggested word.
But that's the other part. Like, I realize like what the issue is, and I never fix it because I talk into it and it'll like read it in jumbo, right? And I'll just hit send as opposed to like letting it like auto decipher everything. And I'm like, shit, now I gotta fix it. So I'm sitting actually like texting at a red light, sorry, driving. Here's what I meant to say. Like, I should have just waited.
Yeah, it'll be like 4 hours later because he's finally done driving. And we're like, what are you talking about? Oh, you meant that like 2 hours ago. Yeah.
Hey, at least it's not me. Like I'm just like I text the thoughts that come into my head as soon as I have them. And so like and Bailey knows like I will have multiple thoughts and conversations going on within one text thread. I'm like, listen here, these sons of bitches. station. Did I tell y'all that I'm working with a nonprofit that helps kids with pediatric cancer? I'm gonna kick my neighbor's ass. And it's like, dude, it's just like doom, and like
Different personalities.
yes, and it's like Ben and Bailey will be in these chat threads, and you can just see like the little bubble pop up, and you know they're just sitting there going, okay, which one do I have to respond to first? Which mood am I going to catch him in? Because if I catch him in the wrong mood with the wrong conversation, he's going to say something back that I'm not going to understand.
I'm crying.
Like, Alex, what are you doing? I'm burying you. Like,
It's just like cool kiss.
This comment from Zach is amazing. Andy be like, "Yo, what up? Set for my Ninja air fryer."
So true.
Hey Ninja, cook me some chicken nuggies and tell Bailey I said sup.
Oh god, that's amazing.
That's
Andy's still dying too.
No, I have like a little post nasal drip like 2.5 months later, but other than that, I'm good. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Once I start laughing,
I'm good. There's my left.
Sasquatch.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, let's get back on track here. Paul, we were on the question of best things to happen in fishing in 2022.
Matt Robertson fishing in his underwear and Bass putting that shit live and then getting mad at him. What the fuck is that shit about? They put that shit out there and then got mad at him. Now, I got a lot to say about that, but man, you should be embracing that kind of awesomeness in fishing. This ain't fucking golf. Like, we bunch of country people out there damn fishing. Yeah. I mean, you got to embrace that kind of personality. And
he's like the happy. He is the Happy Gilmore of the Bass Elites.
Yeah. I mean, they got mad at him for putting that shit on, for them putting it out there. I can't believe it. It's crazy.
I completely agree. I think like when it comes to a rating standpoint, like a guy like him, like obviously you probably got to talk to him behind the scenes of like there is obviously a line because there's kids watching it.
But like it's fishing. The line is wavy. It's not a straight line. It's wavy.
So here, tell me what you guys think about this. Should there even be a line? Like, is social media and YouTube and all these things and podcasts so popular because we don't have a line? Like, we can talk about things like bats up your ass on podcasts that you could never say that on radio or TV. Mm-hmm. Is that why this is so popular? Like, should they like make the line
censored? Yeah,
because it's real. Yeah. It's not like it's not censored. It's not covered up. I'm saying like a line of like don't get butt ass naked on camera, but like beyond that.
Like it's like a chick posting on Instagram, right, in her bikinis all the time. Why can't a dude do it in his whitey tighties? Like it's the same deal. It's thin string underwear. Like whatever.
Oh God!
I mean, that honestly is a really good point. I mean, like Hardee's had commercials with Kate Upton in a string bikini eating a Hardee's hamburger. Why can't Robertson get in his hottie waddies?
If that's what he wants to do, let him do it. Just hope it's not brown.
That was the best part. That was the best part about that scenario. Was Fighter told him, he goes, "We're catching fish right now. You're not allowed to put your pants back on." Like he told him, you're not. That was the best part about the whole thing. That's amazing.
This is a great point here by Ty. Pat McAfee always crosses the line. Now FanDuel is paying him $100 million.
Yep.
Barstool. Great example.
Yeah.
I mean, for real though, like and that's kind of what I'm saying. I mean, like Joe Rogan talks about things no one should talk about, or is scared to talk about. $500 million Spotify deal. Your mom, or what's that?
Your mom.
Call me daddy. Call me daddy.
Your mom. Call me mommy.
Call me mommy.
That's your mom's house. Anyway, but Call Me Daddy's the second biggest podcast in existence. $250 million Spotify deal. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just that's kind of my thought process on that. Is like, and that's what I meant earlier about like, if you make it where it's content, social media and content creation, like that social media aspect frees you up to be able to do things like differently. Like just you can push that line, like Matt Robertson in his underwear, and nobody gets pissed off about it. You know what I mean? And then it's funny.
I would say to this though is when we start a podcast, anybody starts a podcast, usually you start off with no sponsors, right? So as you build your podcast brand, then the sponsors come in knowing what to expect. They sign on for that shit.
Yeah.
And it's different when you've got this old school bass that's been out there And this is just that's never happened before.
Well, bass for a
I
while,
love
you
it,
couldn't
though.
wear, what was it? You couldn't wear jeans, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that like on the weigh-in stage?
Yeah.
Like, or you fishing? Like, it was like almost like a golf situation where you had to have slacks. Like, what was the deal with that? Like, you know what I mean?
Look,
Yeah.
people want to say bass, golf, and NASCAR. They want to put bass in with golf and NASCAR. Well, NASCAR was built off of people drinking beer while the guys are racing. The pit guys over there drinking beer. They're kind of fighting. Back in the day, they fought. Now they just push and slap. But I mean, look at hundreds of thousands of people in the stands at a NASCAR race. I mean, it's a lot different. Fishing's way more boring, but you've got some amazing personalities on the professional touring leagues. You got to embrace some of that shit. That's what's going to bring the younger people into fishing. That's what's going to keep people looking at an 8-hour day of fishing, is when you have these personalities out there and they're focusing on them and letting them be who they are.
Well, and I think
like
Sean Lay's comment is the most pure, like, yes, Bass pre-Ray Scott and post-Ray Scott is amazing. And I think that Ray Scott, for everything that he did positive, made professional bass fishing, it put it in a very weird position today. Because, like, when they tried to ESPN-ize bass fishing, in my opinion, is when it, like, totally fell to pieces. Like, bass fishing, we could get into a deep conversation here, because I've had this conversation with a lot of people, not on live, and I was saving this one for a later date. But it's like you can't ESPN bass fishing. ESPN like has a way that it does things, right? And like there's a way that they try to make things more than they are, whether it be bowling or like I watched cornhole the other day, professional cornhole,
or cheerleader, like the cheerleader dance competitions at Disney every year.
Exactly.
So I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, I'm not watching this.
And so it's like they try to ESPN these things, and some things are successful, some things aren't. And when they tried to ESPN bass fishing, it was unsuccessful. Like, and it's always going to be unsuccessful because you can't ESPN bass fishing. And I think that's the thing with bass fishing that I'm even talking about more with the social media thing, is it's going to thrive in an environment where you don't have constraints on what we can do, what we can say, because like when you break it free of that mold is when it's better, in my opinion. Now, there's a lot of people that are just going to be, whatever. Everybody has an opinion. I mean, I have a bunch of opinions. They're like buttholes. Everybody's got one. And normally,
you got a lot of buttholes.
A lot of buttholes. It's just like, I don't know. That's just kind of my stance on that, is like, that's what pushes me away from like the professional side of things, is just almost just the cringiness of it. It's just like this cringy, over sterilized, like, you know what I mean? It's like, welcome back to the Bassmaster Classic, sponsored by
sponsored before the Classic and then presented by.
Yeah. So like, welcome to the Geico Bassmaster Classic, sponsored by GoPro, powered by General Tire. And then you get onto the stage and you like have these dudes who go on podcast and they talk about like they've got these dudes so brainwashed into this like idea of who's buying what and who's pushing what, that they'll go on and they'll literally lie about where they saw bass fishing for the first time. Like I saw it when I was watching Fox Sports Network back in 1995. It's like, no, you weren't even on Fox Sports South then. It was on ESPN or something at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, you don't have to say the thing that you're on now because that's who sponsors it. Like, say the truth about it and like just go on. Like, if someone goes, hey, 5 years ago, Alex, what bait were you catching them on flipping? I was catching them on a Strike King, whatever, because that's what I was using then, and I use Berkeley now. Like, I'm not just gonna like say the thing that I need to say to sound right. I don't know. That's me. That's you got me on a tangent.
I'll sum it up. Bass fishing on TV is fucking boring. I mean, if people want it like little things on the water, people start hollering at each other. I don't think they should fight it out, but I think they should get like 5 feet apart on the front of their boats and get a hacky sack, and whoever falls in the water first, they're out. The other guy gets the spot. I mean, come on. It's boring to watch for 8 damn hours unless they're just, yanking fish all damn day, but then that even gets boring.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's in line with what Hunter Nixon just commented in terms of a saturation. Like, when it's all the same over and over and over again, which is why people complain about the same fisheries over and over and over again,
Yeah.
where it's like every social media post nowadays is like the same exact sponsor post.
Money
Like,
talks.
if anybody's
Money talks.
a hockey fan here, it's like an NHL interview. They're all the damn same. They sound exactly the same.
Oh,
Like, it's just nothing new whatsoever. It's for the people that, to Alex's point about social media, the people that are putting in an added effort to be different and against the grain are the people that are actually making some sort of headway nowadays.
Well, but now I would argue that that's the same, right, in fishing too, or anywhere else, right? If you're anyone who's different, anyone like a Matt Robertson coming in on the scene, or someone who is acting completely kind of against the grain of something, they're always going to have that kind of edge. I think the problem with, as far as the sponsor stuff goes in bass fishing, I think the difference, it's like, it's very hard. It is so hard for, I think, anglers to view a different, like, not have any power on their own kind of decisions, or at least have some sort of leaning position because of their sponsorship stuff and because of the way things are financially, that like, hey, I'm gripping to this stuff because it's making me money. And there's like concern there. And it's just because like you can't make enough money in bass fishing to be like, like you can go in the majority of professional sports and say whatever you want because you're getting paid a ton. Like, it's not like who cares? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if it's,
look, they get paid up front, they ain't getting paid if they like
show up.
finish in the top 10. Yeah, they get paid regardless. They do
what
shit
you
in that
say
game.
do.
Yeah, they never get in the game. They're getting paid. They're getting
why-
that $25,000 check at the end of the game.
Beast Mode can show up and go, I'm just here so I don't get fined. I'm just here so I don't get fined. I'm just
eat my Skittles, and I'm just here so I don't get fined.
And they're gonna do shit and know they're gonna get fined and not care because, like, shit, I don't care. I got that money last week. Here, you can have it.
Yeah, like the difference in professional bass fishing is just like you have to have sponsors to make it. There's very few people that could ever do that without that. And so then there's always that like concern, and whether it's right or wrong, it's always going to be there unless the monetary thing.
So my question, I think the money is completely there, because like I know the city of Knoxville paid Bassmasters upwards of $1 million+ to show up and have the classic here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if places are paying for these guys to show up, how can they not have like so?
But dude, $1 million doesn't go that far.
Yeah. But if you have, okay, let's say how many tour stops do they have? I don't know.
It's
9.
Okay, so let's say that you cut the field down to literally the most elite of the elite, like truly make it like a professional sport, where you have 30 of the baddest MFers to ever fish out there doing it. And they've got to qualify, requalify, whatever that takes to make it where it's the baddest dudes. Like, if you're really going to be,
even if it's 50, 100,
even if it's a 50,
I think
let's
so.
say that you get each place that they show up to pay you $1 million, where there's a $9 million purse, boom, right there. For like, there's $9 million to work with. Then you get all these sponsor dollars to then pay in too, because all these sponsors are paying to be there too. And let's say that you get a General Tire to give you $1 million, you get Toyota to give you $2 million, you get all. So is there really that much operational cost in Bassmaster or MLF or whoever it may be that they couldn't have 50 dudes who are on a salary to just show up and go fishing? Or is it literally, are they spending that much money just in operational cost to keep the thing going?
I don't know the answer to that, but I do have a point to make to that. Is take the NFL, take all of these major sports. They have people in the stands that are paying to come sit there and watch it. They're buying concessions. There's apparel out there. The TV money, we were just talking about it earlier. The TV money is in the tens of millions, if not more, in the next few years. The NFL's renegotiating all their contracts. I think, didn't YouTube, I guess, just got there. So nobody's paying to go watch the bass tournament. They're not buying concessions. There's not a big apparel market for that brand or that angler. And then the TV money isn't there. I mean, there's so many more hundreds of millions of dollars in those
They
professional
literally are
sports.
probably scratching by. Like they're literally like
Mhm.
at the end of the year, they're looking at their end of the year statement going, yeah, we barely made it again. Okay, let's go try to do it again. And it's like we have to have these guys pay entry fees. Otherwise,
Mhm.
we don't have the money to pay out payouts. Like they're literally scratching by because it just is. I mean, it's the obscurity of what we do. Like I love what we do. I love bass fishing. I want it to be the biggest and coolest thing that's ever existed, but just the way that it isn't. Because
Yeah.
and I'll tell you boys one thing, and this is another rabbit hole. I'll tell you boys one thing that I don't think a lot of us realize is how many people are actually against fishing.
Mhm.
Like
PETA.
dude, like
PETA.
seriously, like people, and there's so many people like that don't understand fishing, and it's like you fish. Why do you want to hurt that poor fish? And it's not that they really believe that. It's just what they've been told their whole entire lives. And so, like, if you line up 100 people on the street, there's probably going to be literally like 98 of them that are like, yeah, like I guess, like I don't really agree with fishing. And then there's going to be two, one person that's like, hell, I got my cousin fishes, and then there's going to be one guy that's like, hell yeah, Kevin Van Dam, G Man, and it's like, it's so and so it's like I don't know. It's the obscurity of what we do, and so I guess I answered my own question going back to it. It's like, yeah, these organizations probably literally are skirting by the skin of their teeth to get things done.
I mean, you look at it like, I think this makes a ton of sense, and this is told to me by a guy. It is just like you're playing for your own money in tournament bass fishing the entire way until the top tier, and the funds from all these lower tiers are in a way going to that top tier. So like if that's like you're playing with your own money to make your own money back, and then that top tier is also being funded by the lower tiers, it's like I do think it's very expensive to run a tournament and have all this overhead to go and have these live cameras and have this cool and all that. Don't get me wrong, but it's like that seems to me right now like it's just getting paid by the sponsors, and then maybe a little bit's getting kicked into the angler pot, but very little. And it's like, maybe, Rudd, there is a way, right? I think that maybe if there is only 100 guys, right, and you could have a salary and have one organization and have this massive following to one specific group, maybe there's enough there. But in reality, I'm not going to say that everyone watches everything, but guys who are ate up with bass fishing are at least going to pay attention to all the different leagues that are happening. And I just don't know if there's enough there. And if there is, maybe the salary is like, it's not millions of dollars, but maybe it's $100,000, or, maybe that's something there. But it's like, then you come back to like, okay, well, I don't know. There's still got to be some incentive for guys.
I think what it comes back to is something I said on my live stream the other day, and you guys may agree, disagree, either one, and we can wade our way into it, is that there is a certain level of addiction to the game. Addiction to the gambling. It's a gambling. Like the people get, dude, like I talked about it myself. Like, even if it's a little kayak tournament, if I put $35 on a kayak tournament, I fish just a little bit harder. You know what I mean? Or if it's like, if I'm sports betting on UFC fights, I go from like, oh hell, he knocked him out to knock his ass out. You know what I mean? It's like that. There's something that happens in our psychology that when you place that money on that thing is when it becomes the thing that makes it's the thing. Like it's that tangible thing that it takes this, sense of bass fishing and tournament bass fishing. And when you put the money on it,
cranks it.
There's the switch. It cranks it up. It cranks it up to 1,000 because you're like, I got $1,500 that I'm the best one out here. I got $1,500 that says I'm the best one out here. Here's my money. I'm going to go gamble my skills against these other guys. And it's like, I think that too is, if you take out the sense of the personal stake in it, then you take away the essence of what that thing is, of what is tournament bass fishing. That's the essence of it. Whereas professional football, I mean, dude, those guys are putting their bodies at stake. That I think, and there's your difference too. There's a weird difference too, because we're not putting our bodies at stake. Like, yeah, you are in a sense. Yeah, bass fishing can be dangerous, whatever.
Come
But
on,
it's
Lake
not
Erie,
Contact
buddy.
sport.
Yeah,
Every
but
day.
it's not like it's not. Yeah, but it's not like
Not
yeah,
like-
and I get that, Andy. But it's like, you go out there and it's not Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards in the UFC, and Kamaru Usman loses by a head kick in the 5th round.
It's not gladiator sport.
Exactly, literally sends him into the freaking shadow realm. Like, and so it's like there's a difference of putting the physical body, the physical body on the line and putting the money on the line. And I think that putting the money on the line is what ramps that thing up to the next level for these guys, that makes it feel as though, hey, I'm getting in the cage with gloves on and I'm going to go fight this other person that's the baddest dude in the world.
Yeah.
And
I got two things. Real quick. One, World Series of Poker. They embrace a personality sitting at that table playing. They embrace the personalities. The commentators embrace it. The people embrace it.
Yep.
And that shit's boring as hell too until you get to, that 1 or 2 spots during that match where it's there. The other thing is a great business idea. Yeah. Somebody needs to buy a bunch of party barges that can fit 30, 40, 50 people on them. Pay them to come on the party barge and go around as a floating stadium with hot dogs and hamburgers and a drink bar, and float that shit around, make people come on there.
Idea right there, buddy.
And you follow an angler for the day or something like that. Let's make it happen. The 5 of us in here probably can make it happen. We'll pull all of our 401ks out, everything.
Buy some pontoon boats. Wait, some
travel
slides.
around the elites and follow guys in pontoon boats.
Why are those guys with those pontoon boats here again? They follow us around and charge people for it.
Think about that. Do you know the liquor and beer sponsor you could get for a party barge that follows around Matt Robertson for the day?
Wrap that in Budweiser. The South would be all over it.
You could probably the things you could get on that.
You would have groupies that would just be like, I'm rented out the whole pontoon. I'm there every day.
Dude, that's such a good point though, because I wanted to find the right time to butt in on this conversation with this, because we've talked about this before, but maybe not as in depth as we are right now. But the biggest thing that I think trails need to do, like a Bass or an MLF, and I think they try to an extent, but I think if they put a concerted effort around building their angler personalities, that is how you get people to, because I think it was Sean Lay in the comments earlier that said there is no face of bass anymore. There's no face of fishing. There's nobody that you think about. I mean, because you have your Kevin Van Dams and your Ike and Ellies, and as much as we hate to say it, in generations move on, they progress. There needs to be somebody that can fill their shoes from a personality standpoint. And bass fishing beyond a Matt Robertson or a Polnick or a Wheeler, there is no big personality in fishing. Whereas that, I think, is what from a tournament standpoint, what the sport really needs, especially from a TV standpoint, because if it's just 80 dudes that are quiet, sitting on the boat, not doing anything, and they're all staring down at the screen, as much as maybe some people like us, where we like to watch stuff like that because we learn from it, that sort of deal. For the majority of fishing, the biggest category of fishing, somebody that doesn't care about that stuff, that wants to see the action, they're there because they're intrigued. That doesn't intrigue them. You need something to teeter back and forth.
Who will be the next Ike?
But I think one thing that you said that I don't think it's going to be for TV. I think they have to completely rewire the way that they think to take themselves away from TV. Just like that Instagram I sent you, Gary V, the other day, talking about Fortune 500 companies are going to have to rewire the way that they do advertising if and when YouTube buys the rights to the NFL's Sunday Ticket or whatever. Right. They're going to have to. The fishing industry is going to have to get their head that's hermetically sealed up their ass out of their ass and realize the future is in streaming. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to have to create personalities around this streaming platform and these people who view streaming, just like a Fortune 500 company who's going to buy advertising space on YouTube for their Sunday Ticket or whatever they're going to call it with the NFL is going to have to rewire the way that they do their commercials. It's not the same, because this is funny. I saw this. Hooters is shutting down for a period of time and rebranding because our generation is tired of boobs.
Yep.
Like,
Saw
dude,
that.
what the heck? Like, how crazy is that? But it's just the truth. Like, that's
Boobs, man.
the truth. Because, like, our
If it ain't bass, it better be boobs.
boobs are proof that I can focus on two things at one time. But like that is a statement within itself that we are so rewired as a generation and as a community of people in this world that literally Hooters is shutting down because they have to figure out, well, what's our next shtick, because boobs don't work anymore. Okay, so bass fishing is going to have to rewire itself to go, well, what is the thing that we have to invest into? And boys, guess what?
The anglers.
Here we are. It's just getting to this point. You know what I mean? Like, we're here.
I love the comments right now. Well, like, I mean, dude, think about it though.
Boobs either, bud. I don't know what Hooters is talking about, but I'm
like,
part of it.
Think about it though. Like NBA, like let's take an NBA for an example. Like, what do they ride? Because everyone keeps coming back to it. LeBron James, Kevin Durant. Like, I don't even watch that, but it's all I see now is because they hit so hard on these personalities where it's like. One thing I've been intrigued about, and I don't even like, I'm not big into like rap music or anything like that, but one thing I've been just like going down this rabbit hole of is there's like a bunch of these podcasts of these rap guys they were talking about, where I think it was 50 Cent and somebody else where they, to the public eye, they hate each other, but there's guys that would work together by throwing shade, so basically starting drama at one guy, and they fire back, and it causes, because everyone loves drama nowadays, that it starts this rift. And that's what attracts attention. Maybe that's something like, I'm not saying to that extent, but like that fishing needs. Maybe fishing needs, I mean, some people, we all know fishing arguments, fishing fights, those are all like from a YouTube standpoint, those are always the biggest videos you find. But like maybe the fishing space needs more of like, I mean, there's some talks of like Wheeler versus Justin Lucas. And maybe there's some drama there that needs to be elevated, like, from a media standpoint. I'm not saying that exact thing, but like take two characters and feed off of it. Give people some tension to rein in on. I don't know. Like, I think from a standpoint, whether it's just trying to get people to watch these events, you need to have some more interesting, you need to have something different coming on. You need to build on
more
the personalities. There's not going to be a future of the competitive fishing if we don't have somebody that can attract the younger generation that's coming up, because 95, if not more % of professional anglers nowadays are all the same. They're cookie cut and no one finds them. I mean, there's obviously people that are interesting, but like they're going to look at a Matt or a Polnick and that they're not going to be there forever. There needs to be somebody coming that is going to be able to help keep that train going, if that makes any sense. And
it's hard to have a face when it's the most losing fucking sport you'll ever do. It's hard to have that KVD or somebody that stays at the top for, years on years. It's hard to have that superstar in fishing because you can finish damn near last in last tournament and this tournament win. I mean, it's just hard to, it's hard to have consistency.
That's why I say that the ESPNism of bass fishing is near impossible. And it's like you're going to have to figure out in your own okay, I'm going to go back to Joe Rogan because Joe's just Joe. Joe Rogan didn't let anything mess with what he had. Bass fishing is going to have to use social media to let it be its thing and not let anybody mess with what it has. And what it has is, and we're going to figure that out. But I think that's it's just, I don't know. It's weird, right? Like it's a weird, obscure thing. And it's like, I don't know what professional bass fishing or tournament bass fishing looks like, but yes.
Could you imagine Alex Run getting chased around a lake by Karen all day?
Casting with criminals.
If y'all are good,
listen, I would go to jail. Okay, like I would be okay for like the first 5 minutes, and then it'd be like, bitch, come on, you want to go?
Y'all are giving something away.
Don't catch that fish off the dock. Catch my dock.
If y'all are giving shit away tonight, Kyle wins something.
Oh god, that's a great idea.
That would be good.
That's what they should do. That's like a Bass or MLF needs to like take some psychopath, pay him $100 to terrorize people to have the cameras in their
Or reverse, right? Like what happened to
volunteer
Jason
tribute.
Christie at the Grand Lake tournament, like when Edwin Evers caught that mega bag, just have like people just hop on decks, be like,
Yes.
Kevin's got 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Just,
Well, it's MLF. Isn't
mind.
that the MLF now?
So
Yeah,
take that for example, right? I mean, this is totally theoretical. I'm not saying do this because this would I would if I was me as an angler, I would lose my shit. But like from a TV standpoint, like you could see this happening. So like Edwin's on this
You will
tear, right,
not
where he
make
was
this
catching one
cast,
every
jackass.
single cast. And you just be like, I'll pay you $500 to go drive in front of Edwin right now. Like, so like, just throw something in the wrench, you know? It's like a Hunger Games. Like they throw a storm at him to do something different. Like it's that kind of deal.
it's like the shades of Happy Gilmore. All of a sudden, a guy just drives over someone's boat instead. You know, like that.
There's where
Like the
my party-
VW Beetle when it hits like the casting thing that they have up on the golf course, but somebody just hits someone's boat. Like, little
Hey,
12-foot
there's the
dinghy.
party. There's the party bars. You get people fucked up drinking, and they start heckling to people they don't like. And I mean, that's it. That's how you get fans into bass fishing.
I mean, I can
Well,
really
They show them. I mean, like Bass will like, you know what I mean? Like someone will be following Matt Robertson around, and some dude's wearing like, you know,
Tiny
American
whiteys.
flag, yeah, like overalls, right? Like he's 9 Bud Lights deep.
There's your
I
there's
can
your new
only
segment.
imagine Zona like when the party barge pulls up. If you know what I mean, boys, here comes the party barge.
Dude, it's like you can make a whole
I
segment
think
on
they
that.
do a decent, like, I don't know, like as much as we're harping on it, like I laugh so hard. Like Zone is that personality, right?
Well,
like,
dude,
the
honestly,
things he says.
I listened to back. Okay, and this is probably gonna ruffle some feathers. I don't care if Mark Zona's not on Bassmaster Live. I just don't even care for it.
Yeah.
Like Zona
He
is the
adds a lot.
reason that I show up to listen to. Like as soon as anybody else starts talking, I'm just like, shut up, because it goes
Well,
back.
he's got the humor side of it, but he's also so intellectual in the side of bass fishing. Like he makes everything understandable to like the average listener who doesn't
Yes.
know what's going
Well,
on.
and it's not this.
The
It's
Tony
not
Romo.
going. Not go,
Yeah,
go
he is
back-
Tony Romo of bass fishing. That's
Okay, well,
great.
it's like football. Like Aaron Rodgers' brother gets on my nerves. I don't even know the guy's name. I just know it's Aaron Rodgers' brother. But like when he's commentating football, he gets on my nerves so bad because he says the stupidest things like, well, he caught the ball and ran in for a touchdown, so that's good for the team. And it's just like, yeah, really. That's kind of the point of the game,
Bravo.
you jackass. Like, quit talking. And it's like there's certain things that are said on like Bassmaster Live and MLF where they're like, well, today we're going to try to catch some fish and see who weighs in the most. And it's like, really? Huh, I would have known that's what we're doing today. And it's like that. Like I
We
hate
need a Staples "That was easy" button. That's what we need.
Yes,
That was
yes.
easy.
yeah, and so it's like I don't know. It gets to this point with the commentating and everything. That's why, again, going back to it, it's like it's just so. I don't know. It's like so try hard some days, and I'm
Dude,
just trying so hard.
Have you seen it with like UFC and like they've done it with hockey and it's actually been a good hit too. They brought on Snoop Dogg as a commentator.
And it's
Fascinating.
amazing.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
Dude, that's what makes UFC so awesome is it's like Joe Rogan will be sitting there and he's like, oh, he just knocked him into the shadow realm. And it's just like, he's like, hey, yeah, if he gets a hold of you, he's literally going to choke you to death. And it's just like, yes, that's beautiful. That's what I want. That's the kind of commentary I want. Like, not only do they have like intensive knowledge of like, oh, he's got him in a Kimura, but then he also says something along the lines of, well, he whipped his ass. And I'm just like,
Well,
Yeah.
on the commenting side too,
Bravo.
you'll be in the Bass Live thing, and there'll be like 2 hours during the day where there's no commenting, and they're just sitting with a camera in the back of the boat watching somebody cast and trying to ask them questions and stuff. Like there's a whole period during the day where there's just no commenting going on, and that's probably when they lose a lot of people. They should have some shit lined up to talk about something. I don't know.
yes.
I mean, it's kind of hard too because of like the length, right? Like, and I'll sit there and I mean, I have it going all day. I might not be like super intent to it, right? But I might be working on stuff and like have it playing in the background. But it's like, it's hard to like, I don't. It's different because yes, there's boring times during a football game. There's definitely boring times during a baseball game. Like there's boring time, but the trick is it's still like 3.5 hours max, like with commercials and everything. It's like when it's 8 hours, I just don't know how
Mhm.
I
I
think
know. There's only so much you can do, but maybe I'm wrong there.
I think
Golf is boring as hell, and they comment the whole time.
Oh, I mean, like UFC will go for 6 hours and they comment the whole time, like and it's engaging commentary. But then people can also get their heads knocked off their bodies. So
It's like, oh yeah,
Somebody-
they're hitting each other.
somebody's tooth got
He's
knocked
gonna
out.
die. Like,
oh, he's bleeding from his eyeballs. But like I think what I almost like. I don't know, man. I have so many philosophies about a lot of this stuff and what we should do. Nobody's going to listen to me, but like shorten the length of the live stream. Make it where it's the most intensive part of the day. Like the best part of the MLF live is the last 10 minutes.
Mhm.
And like, you know, it was like one of the coolest things. And I told Edwin this, like, I don't get jacked up about fishing. Like as far as like watching other people fish, like, I never get giddy. But when he boat flipped a 7.5 pounder on Chickamauga on a crankbait, I literally there was a noise left my body. I was like, ah! But it's like the last 10 minutes of the day, and it's yeah, oh yes,
I'll take that 2-minute penalty for that one.
yes, it's him, KVD, and Jacob Wheeler, and they're just like they're literally on schools, like catching them. Yes, and like he boat flips that one like with just minutes to go, and that thing hits the deck of the boat, and I'm just literally like, but it's just that last 5 minutes. That like so I don't know like maybe that's the instant gratification culture that we live in. Maybe that's why TikTok is so popular. Is it's because it's like I don't have the attention span to sit there and listen to them go on and go on and go on about the thing. You know what I mean?
Well, really fast, Andy, before you make that point, because I don't want him to sit in the queue the whole time.
Yeah.
I wanted one more big red beard to enter the lobby with us tonight.
Oh, it's little me. Yay!
We have our good buddy, Mr. Alex Epperson. What's going on, dude?
Son!
Yo, hey, Bob.
We got 4 beards and 2 dustas. Like dust catchers. And my
Four
beard doesn't hardly
four
qualify.
blizzards.
So.
4 blizzards and a dusting, 2 dustings.
Love it. So no, but I was gonna say I was watching like this short documentary the other day about TikTok in America. And did you know in like China where TikTok was originated, they do a lot of like educational stuff. And in the US, the algorithm hits so people see like the dumbest shit possible because America's like 1% smart, 99% stupid. So
that high? 1%? Well, damn.
maybe a 0.5% smart.
special?
All right, like, and the way they set up the algorithm in America is so that people focus on stupid shit while the rest of the world is running ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just what makes Americans more fun. Is we just focus on the stupid shit.
I mean,
welcome to America. Guns, love,
guns, love, and Hooters. Like, let's go.
Guns,
beer,
beer, and bass.
Yeah, that's good. All right.
Oh, speaking of boobs.
Oh god.
What's the
Nope.
original
Y'all.
Nope. Not happening.
Not tonight, buddy.
That was for Drunkwood.
Yeah.
I just want to know how far I got us off topic. What was the original topic?
I think it was about like
Best thing in
and bass
2022.
fishing, but like we can get away from
I
that.
love it. I love
1 hour later.
All right, here. This will add some interesting things to the mix. If you could choose one angler and one celebrity to fish with, who would you guys choose? And Alex, because you're new to the group, Alex Epperson, we'll say little Alex.
Little Alex.
Little Alex. You go first. One angler and one celebrity to fish with.
Swindell and
Swindell sounds like such a bougie name over Swindell.
Swindell.
Gosh,
I'll take
Swindell.
I don't know, someone hot. Guy
Yes.
or girl.
Yeah. Guy or girl.
Ryan
Like
Fitzpatrick.
McConaughey or somebody would be okay.
Oh god.
And Alex
That's
Rudd be my celebrity.
Absolutely. I'll be your celebrity any day, buddy.
He can't be your pro because he's only semi.
good. That's right.
He wasn't semi when I was with him.
Oh. Sean or Alex, Sean Lay is asking how long did it take to grow your beard and do you groom it?
Me or other Alex?
Well, we'll kick it to the both of you.
Yes and yes. I've not taken a razor to my face since I was literally like 17, 18 years old. To get it to the length that it's at now, if I were to like go down to like just buzz it off with a one, it'd probably take like 3-4 months to grow it this long. And I get it trimmed once a week, and I wash it every 3 days, and I use beard oil every single day.
Damn.
Yeah.
That would be your 1 million view video if you shaved your face or like pretended to shave your face.
Ooh.
Yeah, you should definitely do that.
How much
I
cost
told
you
people, like, people were like, how much would it take to shave your face? $100,000.
That's it?
$100,000. Yeah, you give me $100,000, I'll shave my face.
It should be back in 4 months or 4 weeks. He just
I'll do
said.
that shit for 10. Okay.
I will legitimately shave my face with a razor for $100,000 clean. Like, I want $100,000 in my hand, and I will shave my face.
Oh, that's
Dude, I would do it for $100. Like, it's growing back. So, like, my wife might divorce me if I shave, but like, it gets to a point where she's like, it's too long, so I always have to like trim it back a little bit. But I don't think I've had a bald face since I was probably like 22, 23, so almost 10 years.
Yeah, it takes a while to get used to the little tickle from a long beard.
Oh, dude, it doesn't even tickle anymore. It's just like, oh, that's quiver.
Yeah. Face reveal. Show us who you really are.
Please let us.
Dude, if I shave this off, I bet I look like I'm 15. Like, it's so bad.
You can walk back in. Hey guys, what y'all doing?
Wait for my balls to drop again.
I'm a real boy.
Paul, what about you? One angler, one celebrity.
Oh man, my angler is going to be Ike, and then my celebrity, I'm going to say, God, this is the one that was racking my brain. I was hoping you'd go into somebody else next, but definitely Ike be my pro.
Okay.
And then I'm going to say famous person would be, shit. I just John Wick. What the fuck's his name?
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, him. Yep, that's my famous person. I'd like to.
You could have said
I
John
can do
Wick,
that.
and everybody would. I think more people know John Wick than they know the name Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
by far.
I fucked that up. Sorry.
Typical for you, Paul.
I think a great duo would be Matt Robertson and Theo Vaughn.
Oh my gosh,
that would be hilarious.
Imagine
you would have. I think about with like a Theo Vaughn, and then like just the amount of ridiculous things he says. I just love every little bit of it. But like, I wonder how much of that like he has like someone hired to be like, all right, you can't put this on the internet. Like it is kind of gets back to Rudd's point. Do you
think about the internet?
Them boys
anything out there.
You think he runs everything full throttle?
Yes,
Dude, do you listen to his podcast?
No, all I do is watch his. I watched his stand-up thing the other day, and then I just watch all the reels.
Don't listen to his podcast in public places like your boy.
That's
all I'm saying. It'll be bad up the ass at the gas station. We don't.
Dude, he is so funny. Like this.
I don't know how he doesn't laugh at half the shit he says. Like he'll be on Rogan's, he'll say something that's just so messed up, and Rogan's dying, like he can't breathe.
Yeah.
And Theo's just like he doesn't
like,
make any sense.
I like when people call into him. Like that gets me more than anything else. Like,
go listen to his like second or last TikTok, and some guy called in about jacking off a bobcat.
Yeah. I just like how he's just like the entire time he's like as every good uncle should.
That's life and death. If you need to whack off that bobcat, you're gonna live.
Like, and I'm not condoning bestiality of animals, but that's life and death. Like, if that thing can kill you, jerk it off.
The man said it cost him $175 a month to whack off the bobcat to keep it from killing him.
Dude, like,
God.
like this in his stand-up thing, he's like, yeah, my cousin got bit by a gay dude. He's like, so we'll see. Like, just like it's just like,
was it a zombie apocalypse? Like,
yeah, like what?
Oh God!
Oh,
that's my favorite kind of comedy too. That's like that that the fire when they had that guy on, and he goes, "Now listen, I'm going to tell y'all a story, and you can't laugh. I was severely molested by."
Oh yeah.
He's like, they die, and he goes, "If you laugh at me again, I'm leaving. I'm getting up and leaving." And he's like, "So what was the saying?" He said something.
He got molested by a handicap kid. Or
a handicap.
like
Kid. And like the second time, he said, "I was brutally molested." And, and he's like, "Why is that funny? Why?" He's like, "You can't say brutally before you say it again."
And then he said the third time, and he goes, every day for a year, I was brutally.
He just added to it. That's right.
Oh, that's great. That's
so
amazing.
dark
That's,
humor.
that's fucking genius. It's genius.
Yeah, dark humor, fun stuff. Andy, what about you?
All right, we're gonna go on a more serious note. I'm gonna take KBD and Kobe in their prime for like the ultimate winner mindset and how to just like take over and run away with
Anything.
what like their field of profession, right? Like just
Killers.
ultimately running to the top, captivating the crowd and being the king of it, king of their sport, right? Like to have both of them in the boat in their prime at the same time is a great serious conversation, tying it back to serious angler, right? Great serious conversation to figure out how to get to the top and be the best at your prime.
I love learning about Kobe, like from other people that played with Kobe.
Yeah.
Like, what? Have you ever heard the story that Shaq told about, like when he wouldn't pass the ball one time, so like the team was complaining, and so they went to Shaq, and he's like, "Yo, Kobe won't pass the ball." So he's actually, "I'll talk to him." And apparently Shaq went to talk to him. He's like, "Yo, Kobe, you got to pass the ball. There's no I in team." And he goes, "Well, there's an M-E in that motherfucker." I'm like, that's just a badass. Like,
dude, I follow Kobe. Like, there's a Kobe page on Instagram called Mamba Mentality, and it's literally crazy. Like the way that dude thought and like his thought process through the day was literally, I will outwork you to be better than you at everything you do in every aspect. And it's like, and it resonates with me, like with Americans, right? And part of like a lot of the world population is we're so lazy. It's like, if we put any action to our thought, we would all be in such a better place. Everyone as a whole.
And he's getting Miley Cyrus deep on us.
Oh, I'm not going Miley Cyrus deep. I'm not coming in like a
T-Swift.
Andy, I dig it.
Yeah, I'm not going to be a wrecking ball. Although, like my text messages may say otherwise.
Yeah, that's one thing you need to improve on.
One of my favorite Kobe stories was when they were playing. I think it was Italy in the
Manu Ginobili, right?
Yes, and he goes, "I'm running through his chest," and everybody's like,
Paul Gasol was.
Yes, yeah, and he goes, "I'm running through his chest," and
he's
everybody's
like, "That's your teammate."
Everybody's
like, I don't care.
I'm running through. I'm making a statement. I'm running through his chest, and the first play of the game, he just knocks him straight on his ass, and it was like a total show of just power. It was like, I can do this, and I'm better than you, and I'm always going to be better than you, and there's nothing that you can do about it.
Yeah,
and it's just like that mentality is like. That's brutal, man. Like that's it. Like that's warrior mentality. That's like drink blood out of the skulls of our enemies. And I love that. Like that's just killer. And I love it.
Yeah.
Badass.
It's like, what are you going to do today to be better than me? Because I'm going to outwork you no matter how hard you try.
Andy is going to pull over and text with his fingers versus
yes. Probably not. Probably not. But...
He can't even stop the text. He just sends it anyway. Clowns, this is at Wendy's. Boys, figure it out. I'm working so hard.
What do you guys dream about?
Well, if you really want to know,
yeah. Deacon, what about you?
Oh, dude. I think any of the one percenters, man. There is just, I would probably have to say Paul and Nick, like from an angler standpoint. Celebrity wise, I think Paul and Nick still like is just so relaxed and funny that it'd be funny like a Will Ferrell in his prime or someone like someone in that like time frame that was just so goofy. And
Adam Sandler.
Early 2000s was the best era of movies ever.
What's the dude?
None of them could be made today. Let's just throw it out there right now. None of them.
would literally be canceled so fast.
I'm surprised it hasn't been.
I think that's what has made like, and maybe I'm wrong here, but just like a comeback of stand-up comedy. Not that it ever went away, but like it is the only place and podcast where that stuff is acceptable, and it's just I miss it because it's so funny. And
there's definitely an uprising though, like in that dark humor from a stand-up comedy standpoint. You're seeing more of it.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like I think like I'm saying like that's the only place you can do it.
Right. Okay, gotcha.
But on a complete side note, I got to talking today. We recorded a show.
We have to say it. It's too good.
I'll take a Baconator meal sent from his Minn Kota Ultra X trolling motor.
No, now I can't even the amount. No, like now I got some. I'm gonna roast Andy even more. It's not even the words like in the conversations that he is text typing, like calling you and telling you what's happening. It's the sounds that his truck microphone picks up. Like, and it's not like, okay, like you got a kid, so that's no big deal. We got to like that's fine. Like Bailey and I can like kind of zone that as no big deal. It's like, oh, she's cute, like this and that. But then it's like
those are just like tires, all right?
He's just like, sorry, I didn't have time to eat. Sorry, guys, I had to run to the drive, and then it's just like, it's like
the best ones are when Andy doesn't mean to do it, but it's just Andy. Where it's like one, his daughter's screaming bloody murder. Like we're like, dude, is your daughter okay? And then two,
she's fine. She's fine.
Andy loves to use the fucking blender when he's on speakerphone.
That's what it is. Like literally, the amount of times where I've heard Bailey be like, "Andy, mute."
Hey Andy, you got to try throwing a piece of cheese at your daughter when she's screaming like that. Have you seen that before? It works.
Yes, I have. She'd probably laugh and throw it back, to be honest.
Dude, there's your $1 million TikTok. It's just you throwing cheese at your daughter whenever she's screaming.
Blender running in the background is sorry, I'm trying to eat my Baconator.
Literally, her response would be like, "But Daddy."
Oh God, that's so good. That's good.
Man, that's hilarious. I'm
crying. All right, Rudd, finish us off.
Oh man, I don't know. Jeremy Wade as my angler, because I mean that dude, right? Like he's literally seen and caught everything on planet Earth. So be Jeremy Wade. It's because I want to meet that guy. And
everything would be so dramatic with him.
It would, and that would probably be the best part. Is it's just like, Jeremy, what's going on? We're waiting for the fish to bite. Okay, cool. What are we throwing? Cut bait. Oh, okay. What are we trying to catch? The biggest catfish you've ever seen in your life. That's and then man, that's a good one. The famous person. This is so like me. I'm gonna have to go Joe Rogan. I mean, could you imagine?
I thought that when you
imagine Joe Rogan and Jeremy Wade in a boat together, floating down the Amazon River, trying to catch some catfish that you've never heard of. Like, dude, the conversation on in that boat would be epic.
Add in some
of
Rogan's
some whales catfish today, son.
Yes, and then we'll do a little bit of ayahuasca and some, all that stuff that Rogan likes to do, and we'll float down the river and see fish, and it'll be great.
We're gonna fish the Ukraine Chernobyl plant for some Wells catfish today. We got to wear our radioactive suits on the boat.
On the boat, and we're going to take psilocybin mushrooms, and reptile aliens made a lot are going to cut out all our pain, and it's going to be great. All right.
Oh my gosh.
No more radioactivity.
All right. Here's a question for you guys, and feel free for people that are watching us, throw out topics if you want to have us talk about some debauchery. Worst people on the debauchery.
Debauchery?
I can't believe we're already almost 2 hours in. This is wild.
Oh, shit.
Again.
This is what podcast should be, in my opinion. This is it. Like, we've hit the pinnacle right here. Screw anything serious. Let's just get on here and bullshit, because this is what it is. Like, it's the best.
That's how Joe Rogan that was built.
I know. Yeah.
Epperson, how are things in Oklahoma?
Oh, shitty.
Was it cold and now warm?
That's what's up.
Yes.
That's what's up.
Yeah. No, I mean, today was really, really nice. And I'm going fishing tomorrow. But fishing has been shit. And that's about it. Yeah, I mean, it's Oklahoma in winter.
Fair enough.
It's tough
All right.
fishing. But
Love it.
make do.
Straight to the point.
yeah, I'm just trying to keep it on topic for you and not yep.
I feel free to stray, buddy. Like,
We're all about the rabbit hole.
Oh, I love you, Alex.
yeah.
No matter how bad it is, though, at least you still get to go fishing, unlike the two guys up at the top of the screen.
look at this question. If you had to choose one of the Kardashians to marry,
Oh, Rob Kardashian. That's the one because he's probably the only one that's getting me there in any semblance of safety. The rest
I don't
of them
know.
I'm dead.
Kendall seems like she might know how to damn back a trailer.
She's built like she can back a trailer. She's definitely the other ones, man. There ain't no way they're getting us there.
Your boat's fucked.
Everything's fucked. Let's be
Yeah.
real.
It's just bloody screaming and twisted metal and a Kardashian going, "Oh my god, I didn't mean to! Come on, guys!"
How do you put this thing in backwards?
Oh,
That's hilarious.
thank you, Anthony. I don't know you, but I like you already.
oh, that's good. Well, on that, my question actually was going to be, who are the worst people on the lake and/or boat ramp?
Everyone else,
Kayakers.
it's not me.
You know what?
are a kayaker.
You know what? The worst. I'm
Kayakers do suck.
Wakeboarders and freaking skiers at 7 a.m. on a Saturday.
Dude, no, like here's the worst to me. Like, listen, everyone at one point in their life was a beginner at the boat ramp. I don't have a problem with someone who doesn't really know what they're doing. I think you should go and practice and learn before you go to the boat ramp.
It's
But-
7 o'clock on a May Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. But the worst to me, the part where I'm just like, man, every single time is when some dude on a wakeboard boat that's got biceps the size of my thighs gets out and he is screaming at his wife that has no idea how to back a trailer in. And I'm like, what did you expect was going to happen?
Yes.
Like, you're sitting here like,
Left Sharon.
Dude, I have a great story.
Left
The
Sharon.
tournament that me and Bailey fished
Oh.
in June, I literally had to like stand at a boat ramp and talk to this blonde lady and teach her how to back her truck up while everybody's weighing in because her husband was screaming at her for the same exact reason. And I was like, all right, turn a little left, like 2 turns. All right, now back it up. And she turned all the way around. I'm like, no, left. And I, like in my head, I'm like, this is why your husband's yelling at you. Like, you're
And then-
more taking direction.
I'm not
Did he start
condoning it,
yelling
but I
at you for
understand.
talking to his wife? Don't talk to my wife. I'm gonna whoop your ass when I get off of here, but it's gonna be 3 o'clock in the morning before you out of the water.
All 5'2" of him comes walking up like he's gonna do something. Boy, I will drive you in the ground like a fence post. Just back up. All right. Do not make me come down there and solve this problem.
Oh, terrible. Terrible. Qualified captains, if we ever had to say so.
Oh God. Yeah. Well, what's the page that shows the people going in the inlet and just swamping their boats? You know what I'm talking about? Navy or something?
I know
Isn't
it's
it-
like there's an inlet of like the Jupiter inlet page alone where just people die.
It's
all
just
the time.
inlets, right? It's
Yeah.
just like all the videos of
The
the.
scariest part is the drunk people falling off the back of the boat and just disappearing. Because it's at that moment I'm like, is that person dead or alive? Did that person die? Because how did they get them out of those 6-foot rollers and them drunk with other boats whizzing past them? Like they
And the
can't they gotta
current,
be dead.
the current has to be insane.
Like every time, oh man, like those are so viral. You know what I mean? Those are so viral that people have to like
check to see if they're alive.
realize. Well, yeah, that, but like people have to like throw some caution if you're going to go into those things. Like those things are wild to me. The amount of videos, and maybe like I've never been in one of those inlets to where it's like so many boats are fine and everyone knows what they're doing. But the amount of videos of people who like, it's concerning to me that people are like, I'm going to make it through here. Like, well, I don't really know what I'm doing, but
well, I'm telling you, dude, like here where I live is a great example of everybody who has a paycheck and a pulse has a boat, whether they know how to drive it or not. And dude, I have seen some of the most terrifying things on the lake of people like, where's the brake on my boat? And it's like, we had no joke this year. This is awful. This is an awful thing, but it's just the truth. We had 28 boat related fatalities in Tennessee this year.
Good grief.
28 in like, I think like 27 of them or 26 of them were just like people who were drunk driving their boat, ran it into like a pylon, like a bridge pylon, and just like kills everybody on board.
oh my gosh.
Runs over people. Like there was a guy got ran over on a jet ski. Like, dude, like to go back to your question, but the worst people on the water are the people who buy a $150,000 wakeboard boat who have literally never been in a boat before in their life, and they take this 3,000 to 4,000 pound death machine and drive it 60 miles an hour down the water and don't know anything about anything. Like that's my person right there.
Dude, the amount of people that are just like shockingly on the water that with their no knowledge of boats is. I once had to. This is funny because it's kayaks are just funny to make fun of. I had to tow a boat back in with the kayak because they launched their boat and started drifting off because they didn't realize you need gas for boats. And it was their first boat that they got. I was surprised they got it in water. Yeah, they like backed it in and off like they're fine and just didn't realize you need gas for your boat.
It's a Tesla boat. It'll be fine. We've got some.
It'll drive itself. Good grief. All right. Well, we're coming up on 2 hours. What are you guys looking forward to or big plans that people should know about for 2023? Rod, you want to go first?
2023. No,
go Vols.
Go Vols. We're gonna beat Clemson in the Orange Bowl. That's what's gonna happen. And then we're gonna go, and then we're gonna beat Alabama and Georgia next year. No, for real. Man, I'm just honestly, I have no expectations for next year. I'm just gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna enjoy every moment of my first entire year of being a YouTube dude, like and living my dream and just let life happen, because I learned in the past 2 years that life is over just like that. And at any one moment you can be given devastating news or die or anything, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Not to be somber, not to be, weird about it, but it's just the truth. And so I'm going to enjoy life is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to enjoy every moment, and whatever comes up, I'm going to be a yes man. Like, I'm just going to be like, yeah, let's do it. Because life is in the experiences. It's not the things we have or the money we make. It's all in the experiences. And that's what I want to do, is just experience 2023.
So real fast, can you do like the aneurysms of Jim Carrey and being a yes man?
I can do it. Yeah. I mean, I'll drink a whole pack of Red Bull. That's the yes Red Bull's the greatest thing ever. Yeah, that's going to be me.
What were you going to say, Epperson?
I said, so you'll come fish with me in the spring then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I'll drive 15 hours out to Oklahoma. I love Oklahoma. Oklahoma is one of the coolest places I've ever been. So, yeah, I'm coming.
Why is it one of the coolest places you ever been?
It is beautiful. Like, it's this weirdly beautiful place. Like, it's so flat. But, like, I've never seen a sunset quite like I saw a sunset in Oklahoma. Like, in the Jason Aldean song, like, something about a sunset in Oklahoma. Like, you've never seen a sunset in Oklahoma. Like, I literally tell people when I hear that song, like, you literally have never seen a sunset until you've seen a sunset in Oklahoma. This is the most gorgeous thing. And I don't know. That was a cool trip for me, because I was driving south to Jimmy Houston's house to go fishing on his private lake, watching the sunset. And I was like, it was in that moment. It was just like one of those moments that you experience it. And I'm just like, yeah. And that's what again, going back to 23, that's what I want to do, is just experience it. Like, be there for it.
Word. Epperson, what about you?
What was the question?
Any big plans for 2023 or things people should know about?
No, I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of Rudd there, and I'm just gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna have fun. You know, I took a hiatus from the channel, and I just kind of fell out of love with what I was doing, who I was working with, and ever since I kind of made up my mind that stepping away from it, I feel fucking good. I'm excited. So I'm gonna go try and catch a 10-pounder tomorrow. It probably won't happen, but I'm sure as shit gonna try. And then I'm gonna go shoot another deer on Saturday to close out the year. And yeah, I'm just gonna live and hopefully still have my house.
I hope so.
I mean, you still got to pay bills.
Yes.
So that the channel's making a resurgence, is what you're saying.
Yes, 100%.
Love it. Paul, what about you?
I want to finally win a kayak tournament next year. I came pretty close a couple times this year, so I want to get a win under my belt here. A couple local trails.
Well, everybody can dream.
Yeah, we can. We can. You know.
Just kidding.
You shoot him while he's down, all right?
Baby. Jeez, God. Fuck. I've gained so much damn weight, though. I'm not sure I'm bent over to measure a damn fish right now.
I hope you have a torpedo on that kayak and you're not pedaling with all that weight you're saying you gained.
Oh, man. I gained all that weight while having a pedal kayak. I mean, it makes no fucking sense.
Pounds. I can't
None.
believe it.
It wasn't that much. Alex is too short to do math. Not this Alex, my Alex.
No, I am.
He is. I'm not. We all are. What?
You know, we want to keep with Bass and Brews. We got some plans for it coming in 2023, and then I'm also starting my own podcast in 2023, entertainingly educational. So, want to get that kicked off and see what I can do with that.
Awesome.
Hell yeah. Same places that Bass and Brews is on, where you can find it?
No, it's a whole separate new channel, educationally or entertainingly educational. Hopefully I have the first episode out probably be 2 weeks from now.
Oh,
So
okay.
it'll be.
Is it going to be actually educational or is it going to be more entertaining?
It's going to be both. It's not going to be no fishing related. It's not fishing related. So it'll be a wide range of guests that do a bunch of stuff. You know, I've done a bunch of different shit in my life. So gonna tap into some of those connections of people that do cool stuff. And yeah, it's going to be laid back, conversation driven, their story, and then whatever else comes up. So it should be a hodgepodge of a bunch of shit. I don't know how much is going to be learned by people listening, but educational is a really good SEO word. So I threw that in there.
I like
love it.
I like it. Thinking like a creator.
Yeah, right.
Well, for 2023, a lot of podcast wise for us will be revealed next week on our first episode of 2023. But personally, not too much is going to change personally for next year. I unfortunately have to get married. That is that.
No, dude, it's a fortunate thing. Like it's
wow.
not, marriage isn't that bad. Like,
Is your fiance around, baby?
Yeah, that's why I said that. She
does not listen to the podcast. That's
yeah, she's holding a knife in the other room.
she's like, I'm Chucky.
From the Dahmer show, she's standing over that knife saying they were getting married.
About to be Lorena Bobbitt.
She's better text Bailey in an hour. Make sure he's okay.
He's gonna send an Android text out who's like, "Yeah, this is it. Talk to text. He's in trouble, y'all."
Yeah, SOS. But beyond that, not too much is going to change. But I'm excited for next week's show to tell you guys some more stuff on the podcast. But Andy, what about you?
Oh man, 2023 could be an interesting year for the full household. I mean, I'm not really gonna dive too deep into it. We're trying to buy a new house, trying to move closer to the boat ramp, a little bit further south. Gonna try to do more YouTube stuff if I can ever find time. I got a pretty busy May and June already stacked up for bass season. So hopefully I'm gonna shoot to try and get my 100 trips in next year guiding. So it looks like it's gonna happen as of now. And then just continuing to ride the awesome train of the Serious Angler with the guys here on my left and right. They're awesome. So
looking forward to many texts that I don't know how to read next year.
yes.
Well,
The cloud has no penis at Wendy's Baconator.
The cloud has no penis.
That's good.
Yeah.
What are you can't wake them when they're sleepwalking.
Deacon, what about you, dude?
Transportation.
Yeah.
Oh man, like you said, we've got a lot going podcast wise, and I'm just excited for 2023 there with you guys and everything. From that perspective, I'm looking to up my content game. Not exactly sure where that's going to be yet on my personal side of things. So some thought process there. And then the biggest thing probably is potentially not being in Colorado. Probably wouldn't happen until maybe like July timeframe. But my girlfriend is going to PT school, and there's been a couple of different places thrown around. So one is in Colorado, but looking at Idaho, Vermont, something in there possibly. So curious to see where I'll end up, man. I've always kind of wanted to get out of Colorado, get closer to some places where I travel to anyways. So not sure if that's going to be kind of northwest of where I'm at and be on some of those cool fisheries, or if it's going to be further east somewhere too. So all over the map. We'll see.
Anywhere but New York.
Apparently. Sucks.
I don't know if I would go to Vermont either. It's
Lake Champlain.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah, that's about the
on
only
the
good
border,
thing
on
with
the lake.
Vermont, though. Like, Vermont's a touchy state, kind of like New York in a lot of politic ways.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going there for the politics. It's kind of more around the bass fishing.
Yeah, I was just more worried about the taxes and living situation for you.
So, Deacon, you and Kenzie have been together for a while, right?
Yeah, we've been together for almost 4 years.
Did you get any ring hints over the holidays with her family?
Dude, it's a freaking
You're a gone man if you don't do it soon.
Wow.
Yeah. According to Bailey, unfortunately, you might have to get married in the future.
I'll start with that one. Later. Let's see how that one goes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
You know,
Hey,
I've been
darling,
married 5 years,
unfortunately,
and I
here's your
could be
ring.
happier with my life arrangement. So, yeah,
Oh God.
marriage isn't that bad.
Marriage is fun. I have a blast. I don't know if Bethany does, but I do.
That's where I'm at too, Alex. Like, we just have fun.
I love that answer. I don't know if she does, but I do.
But I'm having a freaking blast. Woo!
you good, babe? Because I'm having a great time.
Oh, that's good. All right. Well, fellas, any of you guys got anything you want to bring up or talk about before we wrap this show up?
I think
No?
I'm okay.
Nope.
All right. Well, we successfully didn't get canceled, although we're still
Maybe.
live, so there's still opportunity. But either way, appreciate each and every one of you guys for jumping on this show. Like we said earlier, there's a lot of people that we could have invited on, but if we did, we wouldn't be able to fit them in this live stream, and we'll have many more of these not so serious shows to come down the pipe. And Rudd, as always, good to dual stream with you, buddy. So to Rudd's viewers,
You as
thank
well.
you all for joining us. Yep. But boys, it was fun, and we will talk to y'all next week.
Appreciate it.